This is Sam Bushman
And Dan Morrison.
with Candid Gaming's coverage of Comic-Con 2010. At Comic-Con, we had the opportunity to see a wide variety of both hardware and software on the floor and in several sessions. One piece of hardware that was extremely notable was Sony's PlayStation 3 and their implementation of 3D on their televisions.
Yeah, I played the 3DS, and they went ahead and had showcase Sly. Sly is an old game for the PS2 that has been remixed with HD graphics and with the new 3D, and they were showing it off on their new Breva system, and it was a very immersive experience. I was thinking I was going to get nauseated. I would see the flicker. I did not see any of those ailments. It was actually a very immersive experience.
Now that being said, though, I did find that if you didn't wear glasses, the image was extremely distorted, and that kind of plagues a little bit for people who want to watch others play games. But on top of that, Sony also had their PlayStation Move on display, and also with that, SOCOM 4 as a demo product. Now, I personally had the opportunity to play it, and I found that while the controls were solid, and the controls were every bit as stable as on the Nintendo Wii, the gameplay for SOCOM 4 as an adaptation was very weak. The game was extremely easy to play, and it felt like it was more of a rail shooter where you can stand still and point and shoot at targets and less about taking cover and shooting at moving opponents.
Yeah, but they also did have a demo for a sports game, and the sports game kind of showed the demoing with two wands to go ahead and pull back and do the bow. And I thought that kind of showed it off in a different light, and I was kind of interested in how it used that in that aspect, because it's a little different than I've seen the Wii implemented that stuff.
I'll be curious to see, honestly, if Sony ends up trying to adapt similar products that the Wii's experienced over the past 3 years to their new Move line, because that sports game did seem awful similar to things like Wii Sports or Deca Sports.
Quite.
Now, on top of that, Comic-Con also had quite a showing for Capcom's new game, Dead Rising 2. We had a chance to play both gameplay and sit in on a session. Dan, you got to sit in on a session. What can you tell us about the product?
All right. The things that went over the session was the new limited edition Zombrex package, which comes with a complete thing of a bunch of little pieces of the Zombrex pills and all the other fun stuff. In addition, they have a behind-the-scenes footage for both of them for the Xbox and the PS3. The PC does not get these kind of features, but you go ahead and get a different duality with the Xbox to the PS3.
Now, are there any other features for the limited edition boxes that come in the PS3 or in the Xbox?
The Xbox actually has a limited edition demo that goes ahead and actually is a prequel to the game. It's only 400 points in the PlayStation or in the Xbox arcade, and it should be a very interesting thing. But it is not going to be available for the PC or PS3 release.
Now, are they releasing a demo for Dead Rising 2 at all?
No, this is the demo. It's only going to be for Xbox.
That'll be interesting. Personally, I kind of hope that doesn't become a pattern with developers to try to charge for their demos, because it's not very good for the consumer, in my opinion.
It is a very affordable price. The only problem is it's an exclusive price only to the Xbox. So as a PS3 user or a PC user, which this is going to be the first Dead Rising game you're going to play on a PS3 or a PC, it kind of feels that you're being left out.
Yeah. Now, I also had the chance to play Dead Rising 2 on a demo on the show floor, and personally, I found the game to be rather bland to play. If you play Dead Rising 1, you're not going to get too much more out of Dead Rising 2. The weapon was a little changed up. I mean, you still had chainsaws and heavy objects to throw at zombies, but the gameplay didn't change much beyond that. You explored, you killed zombies, and you completed missions. And that kind of worried me a little bit.
I seen how the gameplay was. They went over some of the really cool things. They have a lot of fun gimmicks in there. They had like a Saiyan bash that bashed everyone down. They showed all the stuff at the demo thing. But beyond that, yeah, I have to agree. It is basically the first one, but you have to remember, this is the first time that it's going to be on PS3 and PC.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But I also know that you experienced a rather interesting game, also put by Capcom on the show floor. It's a samurai game. Samurai Kings.
Yes, Samurai Kings. Basically, it is Dynasty Warriors, and to say the bias, I really don't like Dynasty Warriors. And I just kind of felt, I just seen it, I picked it up, I thought it was Bayonetta, and, you know, it's not. It's a Dynasty Warriors game, and I really don't like the gameplay. Suddenly, it kind of felt like it was playing itself to some point, and it wasn't very fun.
What do you mean by that?
Basically, by pressing X and, like, the buttons, suddenly it started doing some amazing combos and cinematics that I don't believe I really pulled off. Somehow it just happened, and I didn't feel like I was in complete control of the game. But this is just, like I said, it's a game type that I'm really not into, so I have a severe bias against it.
Okay. Well, you know, that being kind of a low point, one of the games I really enjoyed on the show floor was Splatterhouse. There's a new remake coming out for both 360 and the PlayStation 3, and we'll both have the opportunity to play it. And I'd say, first, personally, I really enjoyed the control scheme for it. The game offers both combo systems and the ability to walk in, press the X button on the 360 controller repeatedly, and just start bashing guys. So you can casually walk in, not think anything about the controls, or you can learn the game.
Yeah, that was a really fun thing about the game. It really had a lot of fun, interesting elements for the trigger doors. That you're basically picking up bodies, kicking them at walls onto spikes, filling these vats of blood, and then going into this 2D side-scroller thing that's more reminiscent to the old arcade game, and a lot of fun things with that.
Yeah, and also we talked to one of the producers for the game, and he mentioned that Splatterhouse 1, 2, and 3 will be included on disc. Now, if anyone saw our review of Dexter Neal, they'll note that that was a very helpful feature when determining, one, what the biases were with the developers going from the original game to the remake, as well as any kind of inside references. And I'm hoping to see a lot of that here with the modern version of Splatterhouse.
I'm hoping for that too. It was definitely a very nice, polished game. Had a little bit of frame rate issues, but overall, it was definitely a very promising game. I really hope to see that later.
It was really reminiscent of something like God of War, where it's all about walk in, beat up, and occasionally have a couple timed events with finisher. Well, on top of seeing sequels, we also found a brand new studio called 38 Studios that's coming out with their first release. Now, one thing that's notable about 38 Studios is they're bringing together a lot of high-ups from both the game industry as well as other industries like the comic industry. Their head artist is Todd McFarlane, who's famous for working on Spawn and in the action figure realm. Famous baseball pitcher Curt Schilling is also the head of the entire company. He's a notable baseball pitcher who also has done a few game reviews for different magazines, and is now coming around to finally taking his gaming passion and putting it into the industry. And they've also featured R.A. Salvatore, who is a notable fantasy author, being the head of world development. He's writing a lot of lore for these worlds, the characters, the races, and this sort of thing. And also Ken Rolston, who is the head designer for Morrowind and Oblivion. At the press conference we saw, it was mostly talking about the staff at 38 Studios, how passionate they are for the lore, and the ad campaign coming up. But one thing it did not mention was gameplay mechanics. That kind of concerned me. They had a lot of passion. Clearly Kurt did. He was very happy to have this company going. But they didn't have a lot of meat behind the game. So I'm worried that there's a lot of flash in his ass trying to bank off of other people's success with nothing to show for it.
I wasn't at this thing, but it sounds like it has a pretty good cast of people, so I hope it'll do well.
Yeah. But anyone that's interested, the title of the game is Kingdoms of Almor Reckoning. They have a website. Just go ahead and Google it and check it out. They should have the theatrical trailer up there, along with a couple other bits of information. But again, they weren't willing to release any information on gameplay mechanics.